Now, as we're going along, here's something I want to show you. This is for my international viewers and people that don't know how to paint. Remember, Michelangelo or Rembrandt did not start painting the Mona Lisa or the Sistine Chapel the first day. It took practice, and they got better and better. Practice breeds self-confidence. Now, the one thing I want to explain about painting, we're using oil, so I have to be careful with it. And I put the oil in this little bucket here, and if you'll notice, I've got a little ragdoll roller. It's really good for getting into corners. You can either use a ragdoll roller if you like, or you can use a brush, or you can spray it. But I would recommend, if you don't know what you're doing spraying, do not spray oil, because it can cause more problems than you would want to know. But your biggest deal is to get the product on the wall or whatever you're doing. Now, I've decided that I'm going to roll all of this out, and you can see where the oil is sunk in right here. Now, to me that looks light, so I'm going to do it a second time. Now, if anyone tells you, and you go buy paint from a paint store and they tell you there's a one coat paint, okay, get your wallet, flip them off, and walk out. There is no one coat paint. The best painters use 2 coats. Now, another thing I want to show you is I've painted all this here, and I want to show you my hands. Now, the reason I use these gloves is a certain reason. Now, suppose you're digging in rocks or dirt, or you're doing lumberjack work or mining or whatever. If you have gloves on your hands, you'll work harder because you won't want to get them. The gloves act like a barrier, and also you don't have things sticking in between them. And I also want to show you how much paint I've dropped on my clothes, and I have dropped some paint here, but that's no problem because it's dirt. If this was concrete, all this would be covered very nicely. But since I'm doing this with one hand and one camera, I'm just going along as I'm going. Now, painting is not a job where you see the lady with the big towel around her head and she's got to paint halfway over a Hell's Half Acre. You want to put the paint on the wall and not on your hands. Okay? And if you're doing that, you just want to slow down. If you don't think you have enough primer or paint on it, just do it again. I would suggest if you're nervous, grab yourself a beer, put on some really good music that relaxes you, and have fun. Remember, painting is an art. It's an art form. It's not a job. Everyone is different. Nothing is right, but you might as well have fun while you're doing it. And also, I would like to tell my international friends that I just went down and had some blood taken for a problem that I'm 50 years old, and I wanted to let my international audience know that I've had some symptoms for a long time, and I believe the doctor told me some good news and some bad news, and I want to let all my international audience know, and everybody else, that I said, okay, doc, what's the bad news? And he says, Randy, we've done the blood work, we've double checked all the results, and I'm sorry to say, but you have enormous penis syndrome. That was the bad news. But he said the good news is there is no cure. So I just want to let everybody know that even though I have some medical problems, I'm dealing with it as best I can. All right. It's back to painting. I'm going to paint from white all the way from there, all the way down, and the oil all the way down, and I'll put on as much as I think I need, and we'll go from there. And this house is going to be really nice. It's going to be mine one day, I think, maybe.